Okay, we're going to be working on finding the LCM, or the least common multiple, and the LCD, which is the least common denominator. If you remember when we were prime factoring way back in the other chapters, I taught you a method called the cake method. And that cake method helped us find our GCF. We're going to use that same method to help us find our LCM. So if I want to find the least common multiple of 168 and 180, I'm gonna go ahead and cake this. These aren't the best numbers, they're awfully large, but that's all right. So can you think of the largest number you can think of that can go into these? I mean, you can start with the smallest number if you want. Want to just start with 2? Let's just start with 2. 2 goes into 168 84 times. 2 goes into this 90 times, okay? Can you think of a number that goes into these two numbers? You can do 2, you can do 3, because what's 8 plus 4? 12, and then 3 goes into this, and 3 goes into this. So we could do 3. We could have went with 2 again if you want. 3 goes into this how many times? It goes into that 28, and this is 30. What goes into 28 and 30? 2? Yep. 14 and 15. Does anything go into 14 and 15? No. So here's your LCM. It is 2 times 3 times 2, that's your GCF, times 14 times 15. So your LCM is taking every single thing and multiplying it. So every single thing, and look, it'll make an L. What? There it is, or a big sock, one of the two. So your least common multiple. Now remember, if I asked you to do multiples of 5, you would say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Those are multiples. So I don't want to list the multiples of 168. I don't want to count by 168, and I don't want to count by 180 to find out when they cross. So really, this is the easiest way to figure it out. So 2,520. Okay, so they're going to show you a whole prime factorization way, which is fine, but it's just a lot easier to do the cake method. Okay, so now we have 144 and 96. So think to yourself, what goes into 144 and 96? What's the biggest number you can think of? 12? 12 goes into 144 12 times, and 12 goes into 96 8 times. Can anything go into 12 and 8? Yep. What goes into 12 and 8? 4. 4 goes into 12 3, and 4 goes into 8 twice. Does anything go into 3 and 2? Nope. So you're finished, and all you have to do now is multiply 12 times 4 times 3 times 2. That big foot. So 12 times 4 times 3 times 2 is 288. That is your least common multiple. That's the first time that when we count by those numbers that those would cross. When they're algebraic fractions, it's really not that much harder. So again, we could cake it. X squared y squared 6y cubed. What's the biggest number we can take on the outside? 6. What's the greatest amount of x's? None. What's the greatest amount of y's? Y squared. Okay, that's my GCF. Not done. So 6 goes into 12 twice. I still have an x squared. 6 goes into 6 once, so I'm done with that. I took 2 y's out, so I have 1 y left here. So take what you have and multiply it. So you have 6 times 2, which is 12, y cubed x squared. Why cubed? Because I have 2 here and 1 there. That makes 3. And there you go. That's your LCM. I don't like that pen. 72a squared b cubed. If you notice, your variables are the highest exponents. See? But cake method's the best. LCD is the same thing as least common multiple, but you're just focused on the denominators. So finding, you have 8 and 20. 4 goes into both of those. 2 and 5. So you're doing 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 5 is 40. So your least common denominator is 40. So why would you need your least common denominator? Because we're getting into adding fractions with unlike denominators. And when you do that, you have to find your LCD to rewrite your fractions to have a common denominator so that you can add them. So this is going to be our next section that we do. So then you say 20 times what is 40? Times 2, multiply this by 2. 8 times what is 40 is 5, multiply this by 5. And we will have rewritten our fractions to have common denominators. So then all we have to do is add 35 plus 26, 61 over 40. And then, of course, we would change that into a mixed number. So this is where we're going in the future. Okay, so you have 9 and 12. What goes into 9 and 12? 3. 3 and 4. 3 times 3 is 9, times 4 is 36. Your LCD is 36. Same process. Focus on these numbers. 36a squared b, 27ab squared. What goes into 36 and 27? 9. Okay, what's the biggest a you can take out? A. What's the biggest amount of b? Is b. 9 goes into 36, 4. Take one of those a's away. Take the b away. 9 goes into 27, 3. Take the a away. Take one of the b's away. And do 9 times 4 is 36 times 3, and then a squared, b squared. 108 a squared, b squared. Do the same process. You try to do that one. Hopefully that's what you got. Remember, I already taught you how to do this. Just do your cross multiplying. 7 times 7 is 49. Oops. And then 15 times 3 is 45. Obviously, 7/15 is greater than 3/7. Same thing, do your cross multiplying. And 5/20 over 21 is less than 9/14. And that's it.